Hi, my name is Melissa Scher, and this is my project in the book Rising Strong by Brené Brown. I chose this book because it analyzes vulnerability, courage, weakness, and failure, and how to overcome obstacles in everyday life and with communicating with people. I chose this because I'm thinking about majoring in communications eventually, and I was hoping that this book would allow me to learn how to communicate more effectively with others and gain confidence when doing so. And I was also hoping that it would teach me a little bit more about myself and my own communication skills, and how I can do better in communicating with others. My goals for this project was personal growth and development and gaining confidence, learning ways of improving my relationships with others, and learning ways of communicating more confidently, effectively with others, and building healthier relationships in doing so. In the introduction of the book, I learned about accountability after failure and how you really need to be accountable for your actions after you find yourself failing in something, and you really need to own your own emotions when you feel like you've failed so that you don't take them out on other people. The introduction showed me the importance of being accountable and owning my emotions so that I could be a more genuine individual. In this way, I feel like I learned that one should analyze their emotions after they feel they've failed so that they don't take them out on other people. In doing so, owning your own emotions and allowing yourself to feel them, not bottle them up, and then explode on other people. And that's really what the introduction talked about. In the second chapter, The Physics of Vulnerability, Brené Brown states that if we are brave enough, often enough, we will fall. And I feel like this is true, and this statement really meant to me that if you really take chances, you will fall, but this book shows you how to come back from that, how to bring yourself back from that, and how not to be afraid to fall, because it's in the falling that you learn how to succeed. Another point in this chapter was that vulnerability is courage and not weakness. This chapter really taught me how important it is to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability allows us to take risks and let others in. In the third chapter, Brené Brown talks about the reckoning, the rumble, and the revolution. And this is how we try to understand, acknowledge, and learn from our story and change as a result of our story. And I believe that our story is the culmination of our past experiences, our life experiences, and how we choose to tell those experiences. This chapter explains how the way we interpret our own life experiences affects how we perceive ourselves and how others perceive us. This taught me that being genuine and honest with ourselves and about our own experiences results in a better understanding of ourselves and better relationships with others. When we can be honest with ourselves, it helps us be more honest with others. When we are true to ourselves, it allows us to communicate better with others because we know we're telling them the truth as well. Owning our stories and our past experiences and not letting them necessarily define us, but allowing ourselves to define them and being honest with ourselves. Acknowledging the failures that we've made and working to move past them. Acknowledging that we are not defined by our successes and failures. This is what the next chapter taught me. The ability to be honest with ourselves means acknowledging our failures. However, this does not mean that we need to define ourselves by our successes or failures. It means that we can learn from them and move on. This book also taught me that understanding and acknowledging our stories and emotions results in better communication with others. Trying to understand our emotions keeps us from taking them out on others or bottling up our emotions up. As I stated previously, this book taught me that being honest with ourselves and really taking the time to understand and express our emotions means that we won't feel the need to displace our emotions on others. And in this way, we learn how to communicate better with others and form healthier relationships. Contemplating and acknowledging the dishonesty within ourselves and our stories and retelling them honestly is an important part of learning how to regain confidence after we fall, and allowing ourselves to be honest about this and communicate this more effectively with others, and striving to be our best selves and generous to others is a really important part of this process. Part of being honest with ourselves means acknowledging that we have been dishonest in the past. This means that we need to reevaluate our stories, our past life experiences, and retell them honestly. Living honestly allows us to be generous to others. Another thing this book taught me is the importance of owning our emotions and truly feeling them. Because when we allow ourselves to do this, we don't feel the need to displace our emotions on others. We don't feel the need to take them out on others. And in this way, we allow ourselves to form healthier relationships with others. And this book really explained to me the importance of owning our own emotions by truly feeling them, not bottling them up and putting them aside. When we acknowledge them and move past our emotions instead of ignoring them, dwelling on them or displacing them on others, then we can truly have healthier relationships. Another part of this book taught me the importance of learning to ask for help. Another book I've read similar to learning how to ask for help was The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. And this is a very difficult subject because for a lot of people, myself included, it's very hard to ask for help because you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which is very difficult for a lot of people. The act of vulnerability is very frightening, but this book shows the importance of learning to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to fail so that you can regain this confidence and gain even more confidence and gain more success in your life because of your failures. One of the most difficult parts of allowing ourselves to be vulnerable is learning to ask for help. Asking someone for help leaves us completely open, and it makes so many people feel uncomfortable. But by learning to ask for help, we can build better relationships with others, and we can truly become more honest and genuine individuals. Learning to allow ourselves to be vulnerable is a big part of learning to ask for help. This is part of the process of falling and getting back up and becoming more successful because of it. Asking for help is only the beginning of allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable also means opening ourselves up to failure and the negative emotions that come with it. Through truly feeling our emotions and owning them, we can begin to become vulnerable. This book also taught me the importance of choosing authenticity and worthiness. As Brené Brown states, fall, get up, and try again. Those are the main points of this book and what this book has taught me. The main message of this book is that in order for success and personal growth to happen, we must allow ourselves to be vulnerable and open to new experiences while being honest with ourselves and others about our past experiences. The ability to bounce back from failure isn't easily gained, but once we learn to do so, we can become more confident individuals. Before I read this book, I wasn't really sure if I would learn all the things that I wanted to. I wasn't sure if I would truly gain more knowledge about myself or personal growth, but I feel that I have. This book made me delve deeper into my past experiences than I had in a long time, and to truly feel emotions and think about these things and think about how I've been untrue to myself and others, and how I really need to own my past emotions and own my stories so that I can be more truthful and genuine with others, and in doing so, create healthier relationships with other people. So Rising Strong taught me way more than I intended to learn. I didn't know that owning, acknowledging, and learning from my failures would lead to gaining confidence in myself and in my relationships with others, but I certainly hoped that it would do so. I think this book offered a lot of helpful information on how to approach vulnerability in a realistic way and the effects it would have on my life. I think that I have learned new ways of communicating with other people and really thinking about these things, and how to be genuine and honest with other people is something that I hadn't focused too much on before, but I think that now that I've learned how to be vulnerable and I've kind of accepted that, I think that I can begin to take this in a direction where I can be more confident when speaking with others and that sort of thing. Allowing myself to be vulnerable is something that I've never really done before, and this book allowed me to kind of experiment with that. I've never been one to allow myself to be vulnerable, and this book kind of made me think about that because that's something I'd never really thought about before. And I really feel that this book taught me what I set out to learn. I wasn't sure if it would, but I feel that it has, and I feel that it's taught me even more than I intended to learn initially. I was pleased with the book and the knowledge I gained from it, and I really hope to apply it to my future career in communications major if I choose to do that. I think that the skills that I've learned from this book will carry on into that major because I learned a lot of important ideas and information regarding communicating with others and building healthy relationships. Thanks.